My nature, and I'm at the Groove Mall, and this is the wonderful Futhi Ntshingila. I hope I said her name correctly. She's here to talk about her book. Her book was translated into Portuguese last year. It was published in Brazil. What good news! Futhi, please take us through the journey. How was it in Brazil?
I went in November, and it was just an amazing time. Almost like surreal kind of situation where you sort of have to pinch yourself. It's like, it's happening.
And then did you help with the translation, or because I know Portuguese?
I don't speak Portuguese. No, I didn't help. I just, the book was published here in 2014.
Yes, by Mojaji Books.
Mojaji Books with Colleen Hicks, wonderful Colleen Hicks, who respects women.
She's making dreams come true.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And so Colleen knew a publisher in Brazil who was interested in translating the book. And we heard about it, and then they had talks, publisher to publisher.
Yes.
And I didn't hear anything for months, so I thought maybe nothing came out of it, and that was it was like, okay, these things happen. And then we just heard that they finished translating it.
Just like that.
Put a lot of pressure on me because I was going to translate Do Not Go Gentle into Zulu.
Yes, I remember you told me last year.
So I had to sit and do the Zulu translation because now it's like, okay, it's on, like the pressure's on.
Yeah.
So in a way, a lot of things have come out of it that I wasn't expecting. But good stuff.
It's amazing.
It's translated into Portuguese, and it pushed me to translate it into Zulu.
Yes.
I submitted sometime last year. I'm just waiting for Colleen to tell me what's happening with
that. Are you gonna have like a different cover to the one that you have? I have the book there.
I'm not quite sure.
The book. I have the book.
I'm not sure
if
the cover is going to be different. But I will tell you, I really like the Brazilian cover, the Portuguese cover.
We'll definitely put it there.
It's really interesting.
Here's the original. It's upside down. Here's the original one.
Yeah. So it's just been an amazing time. It feels like this book is a gift that just keeps giving,
And it's a true South African story. If you read the book, you realize that, like, you really spoke the truth about South Africa and what's definitely happening now. It's a bit scary.
For me, it's what drives me to write and tell these stories. It's the stories that are almost ignored or on the sidelines or not attractive, because for some reason it seems like poor and poverty is not something that people want to see in the mainstream, but it's there and it's happening. And when I hear people talking about how you fall into stereotypes when you write about things like that, it makes me mad because I don't understand what people are saying about that. Are they saying then we should just ignore it and maybe pretend that it's not happening?
Sometimes they feel that it's scary when you read it in a book. It becomes real because when you see it happening to someone that you know, it's a bit outside. But when you read it and it's your voice that's telling you the story, it becomes really scary.
Maybe it's that, but also I just feel sometimes in things that we want to put in mainstream and in things that we want to put in sidelines, I feel there is a hegemony that works there to try and continue to sideline people, to put them in the corners where they don't prick our conscience. We don't have to think about it. You drive past on the road, you want to close your window, you don't want to see, you don't want to smell, you don't want to think of what happens to these people.
And they're there. We can't ignore it.
So for me, I didn't realize it at first, but now it feels like it's by mission. Like there are these things that we need to talk about. So
we really have to do it.
And I think people who are my age, around 40s, early 40s, most of black people in South Africa who are in this age, they know what I'm talking about because they didn't grow up from bread and butter.
Exactly.
They grew up from putu and water and sugar water. So they know what I'm talking about, even though they would want to forget now because
at least
they've climbed up, some of them, or some of them actually are still in these situations. I don't know anyone who's same age as me who hasn't gone, who doesn't have a cousin or a distant aunt or somebody who's still living a situation where they eke out a living every day. So for me, it's important.
So for you feel we have to give them a voice. At least they have to be there.
Yeah, or just in people's minds, to think about these things at least once in a while.
So the translation, were there any challenges that you faced with it, or did you feel like your story will be left in translation? Because sometimes when you translate a story into a different language, there's definitely that moment where you feel like,
I was definitely concerned. Yeah. I was concerned, what if maybe a turn of phrase is different? But what I liked is that they kind of, I feel like they kind of respected what I was trying to do, and the person who was translating is actually studied translation, is a professional person. And like where some of the phrases are in Zulu, they kept them in Zulu.
They just what they put,
it's
like
kind of mixed up a bit, but
bit of translation. What you trying to say?
No, but some of it is in Zulu. Like it was in Zulu with my English.
So they just left it like that.
So
people will like assuming what
they wouldn't know. But like you pick up the sense.
You
the
do.
Sentence. But also what I noticed in Brazil that I didn't think about before going is that their situation is very similar to our situation. It's the majority black. It's the minority white people, and it's the situation of shacks. They call it favelas. That's right. It's a situation that I felt like resonated with some of the people, and that's what they were saying, when they were asking you questions, and they just couldn't believe some of the similarities. So it felt like
it was
I had a feeling where I'm like at home in a different country, but at home, and I think when they read the book, they also felt like some of the things are very similar. Of course, some of them were different. For example, the issue of virginity testing.
They don't have.
One of the interviews I had was saying it's very they have very similar situations, but it was new for them, the whole issue of virginity testing. And now that I think about it, also things like that, virginity testing, something in our culture that doesn't do favor or doesn't, how do I explain it? It's like we still have things in our cultures that are not
necessary, or they're not. They don't adding value to our everyday life.
The patriarchal part of saying, "Let me take care," or "Let me have power over your sexuality." For example, I want to check if you've been with somebody and things like this. So it's also one of those things that you bring out to say, culture is good, we need to have it, but there are certain things in it as well that we can be critical about. And
especially because we also live in a different space. Remember, you also highlighted the fact that there's this notion that if you sleep with a virgin, you will be cured of
exactly.
HIV. Like
so those dangerous things that actually put young women in danger.
So I think that question mark really needs to be attended.
Definitely.
Especially because that lady last year, I don't remember her name, she gave out a bursary for. Remember that?
Yes.
So you gave.
But also here's another thing is that you find that it's actually women
who are perpetrating these things.
Saying. I mean, in countries where there is genital mutilation, for example, sometimes it's women who are saying, yes, no, I can't have my daughter not being circumcised, and they are the ones who enforce these practices.
Scary, because you also wonder, are we, as women, what are we brainwashed to think in a patriarchal way, or what's happening? Like, I don't understand. Like, most of the time, even women are those people who will ostracize you.
Brainwashing is a big thing that's happening even right now. I mean, this minister, this pervert, I don't want to call him a man of God, he's a pervert. This pervert who's raping children and hiding under the name of the church. And you find that it's women who are protesting for this man to be free. The man who's been... A woman who protests for a man who's a rapist.
You don't even
to be taken out of the... It's like, for me,
scary.
Very scary.
Why can't he just come forward, be proven that he's not guilty, and then we can go back to protecting him? Like, I don't know.
So you see, that's it's one of those dangers of when you talk about brainwashing. I'm thinking of those, and I'm realizing how it can be so dangerous.
It's dangerous, like seriously.
Because for me, when I saw them protesting, I felt it's possible to be fast asleep while your eyes are open and walking around.
Exactly.
It's sad.
It is. So that's why we need such stories. Because Mbelo also went through the same journey with the pastor. So I was reading through it and I was like, no, did Futhi have a premonition that, because really it was published in 2014, 2017. What you said in your book is happening. The Sasa issue, his mother, the grant was stopped, and then she also went through the same thing. A pastor raped her, she got pregnant. Like, I was like, no.
I think it's just a testimony of things that are happening that are not talked about, and then at some point they come up to the surface. Or maybe somehow I'm a sangoma and I don't know about it.
Could be.
No, I'm sure.
So, like, how was your book received in Brazil? Like, how did the people react?
I think, as I said, it was amazing because when I got there, it had already been in the shops and people had bought and read. I mean, the first edition was already bought and done.
Sold out.
So when people came to the talks, they already had their copies that they had read and they wanted me to sign. They were talking about the similarities, like what I was saying. You almost felt like you were at home, but in a different space where people really appreciate the stories, because I don't know if you get the same feeling here at home. People read.
They do.
And they circulate, even if it's not the sales that go up, but you'll find that one person buys the book and then it circulates. But I think here, what I'm finding is that you get more appreciated if you're a singer or a dancer or a sports personality, or we're just at the bottom of the run. And it's not a complaint. I don't care about the fame and all of those things, but I found over there was more excitement of reading, of books, of stories.
I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think that Brazil did different that South Africa is not doing? Like, your book was translated there. When you got there, people had the copy. What are South African publishers not doing that can create such a momentum? Like, I like for them to have the book out at that time. And then
maybe it's the marketing. I mean, I don't want to take all the responsibility and put it on the publisher, because we know that most of the time there's the issue of budget, there's the issue of, I mean, Kalim, for example, is a very small publisher. Although sometimes I think she does more than some of the established publishers do. But it's just, I think there's a gap in the way that marketing is done. I'm not sure what else we could do.
Would it be that
maybe there's more? Also, I noticed here, like, the review sections of the newspapers are getting smaller and smaller.
They are.
There's no programs on the radio that I can speak of that has books. Although if you look at radio, you find a lot of programs where they review music. You know, they speak about music. It's like 1 hour, and they get the musicians to come to the studio and talk about their music. But books, no, I don't see it. I don't have television, so I don't know what happens in the television space in terms of book reviews and
nothing.
But I think there it's a big thing. I mean, I got to interview with print media, radio stations, and television stations. So I think they put more emphasis, or just the culture of culture is more stronger. Art culture.
Actually, it is. Art culture is really, really strong way. When I was working at Arts and Culture, this other I forgot his name, but he was doing public art. He showed me a video of the Minister of Arts in Brazil. He's a musician. He usually plays live music to the audience. So if we had people who did art in government, maybe not say.
Yeah,
No shade.
you never know.
You'll never
Yeah.
know. Like seriously.
Although here, I think maybe they would think it's a conflict of interest or something to be involved in the art and work as an official. But I agree. I think they have a better recipe that side to have someone who has an understanding, who knows, than someone who's going to be a bureaucrat.
Exactly, because now you won't be thinking along the lines of if I put money into.
It's kind of funny, like during apartheid, I hear that like the culture of reading, the Afrikaans culture of reading and books were actually influencing even in some of the speeches of these ministers. I mean, it was an ugly period, but apparently they were interested in things like books
and if you look at the literature that came out of that, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It almost stopped, like after 94.
Yeah.
It just stopped. If you think.
Yeah, I think people became, after 94, people became more interested in the political issues or the liberation issues more than they actually. I don't think they spread themselves to other areas. It was more about. How do we create better life for all? But
rebuilding the country rather than rebuilding the country with a certain culture.
Yeah, but then it wasn't a wholesome way of dealing with it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, Futhi, I think we definitely went off the topic, but then I am glad we talked about your book, and I love it. And I think I've said it so many times. I love it. I love Mvelo. I love Zola. But definitely, I hope we get more work from you. Is there something you're working on?
No, not at the moment. I finished translating in Zulu and I've been kind of tired. I have pieces that I can put together.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not even going to say it's an issue of time. I'm just being lazy. I've just been lazy. But yeah, something will come up.
No,
I don't think it's the end of my writing yet.
It'll be like the third book, right?
Yeah.
No, I thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.